All right, what's going on, everybody? I'm here with my buddy, co-host Matthias today, and we are interviewing two up-and-coming amateurs that are friends of ours, Aaron and Courtney. I don't know if you guys want to introduce yourselves, just say where you're from and all that sort of things, what class you compete in.
Hey y'all, I'm Courtney. I am from San Antonio, Texas, and I compete in women's physique.
And I am Aaron Gardner. I'm from California, and I compete in classic team.
Epic, my brother. Okay, I guess we could start with maybe what got you guys into bodybuilding and who are your biggest influences in terms of like athletes or people involved in the sport, stuff like that.
You want to go? So, I guess for me, like my dad, when I grew up, he was a bodybuilder, and he had me like doing bench press when I was probably I think 10, 11 years old, and it would be you get off of football practice, you come home, and he would have me bench until I couldn't get the bar off, and then just over time, I played different sports, played football, wrestling, I did MMA, basketball, track, like everything you could possibly think of. I try to get into everything and just try to just be an athlete. And after what I think I did competitive CrossFit for probably about 8 years.
That's insane.
And huh?
I'm saying that's insane. People like it's CrossFit, but I think if I did like a CrossFit circuit, I would be cooked after like 5 minutes.
Dude, for me, I was in the military for 10 years, and so like that mentality, that all in, like, just burn yourself, just go as fast as you possibly
Yeah,
can. That was just kind of, that was the model. That's the way it went. And when when I was, I think, 29 or 30, I tore my left lat doing 100 muscle ups, and it was like then I had decided, like, all right, I can't do this anymore. Like, my body's not gonna hold up. I'm 30. I'm like falling apart. I've had shoulder surgery, a bunch of broken bones, and so I needed something. I needed something that was gonna like push me, and so I just went back to my roots. I was like, I'm just gonna start lifting. I'm gonna lift heavy.
But I think that started though when we went to Destin. I'm sorry, Denton in Dallas, and you had that CrossFit, and you went by the end of it.
It was competition I ever had. I had no like gas. Like I had just lost it. Like I could not perform at that really high CrossFit level anymore. And it was like, I'm not gonna sit here and keep doing this if I'm getting my ass whooped. Like, I can beat everybody in the strength portion of CrossFit workouts, but when it got to the metabolic conditioning stuff, like, I just started getting torn up. Like, I just didn't have that breath anymore, that lung capacity. And so I needed something that was going to push me. I'm the type of person, I need something in my life that is going to constantly challenge me, or I just get bored and then I get in trouble. And yeah, so I started watching Luke Sandow videos, and I was like, yo, this is the coolest guy ever.
Legit.
Everybody knows about Ronnie, everybody knows about Dave, Kevin, all those guys, right? And Luke was just different. Like, he was just like, I was just so mesmerized by his physique, and I was like, that is what I want. I want to push myself to that point where people are like, holy shit, like, I want to surprise myself is what it really is. So I started training, just lifted heavy, and I met her. And your turn.
So funny story. I was never really into like lifting heavy, but I was always strong growing up. I always had like my dad's build, my dad's strength, and then so before I met him, I was actually in the process of joining the Navy, and then it got to the point. Long story short, I have a bad habit of talking for so long sometimes, so I'm just gonna make this short. But I was basically in the process of trying to join the Navy, and I lied about my medical stuff history. And basically, my dad was in the military, and so we had TRICARE. And so I was unaware that they were actually able to go back on my records and look at all of that. And so when I was in processing, they told me I had to go ahead and get all my records back, go see my therapist that I had went to before all of this, and I had to get reevaluated. And they had seen a bunch of abuse, harm, all that stuff on my record. And so I basically had to go get reevaluated by my therapist. She basically cleared me out. But this was like a 5 to 6 month process, and it got to the point where I felt as though it probably wasn't meant for me, because I felt like I was doing everything I needed to do in the books. It just wasn't working out. And so when I met him, we were actually just friends. We met on Instagram. And so he actually messaged me a ton, and I would kind of just, like, you guys know how it is. Like, you would kind of just open the message, like, you kind of let it go. I had talked to like one person previous to him, and I didn't talk to anybody else just because I was very focused on wanting to join the military. I wanted to leave Texas. I just wanted to get out of there, and so I met him. And he was actually doing CrossFit right when I met him, and I was just training to join the military. So I was just running. I didn't know much about lifting heavy weights, and so I'd go in there, and I had a friend named Ryan, and every single day we would go to the gym, and I would lift my little 20 pounds, 15, 20 pounds, and then I would just go hit cardio, and that was just what I did. And then so once I met him, the whole Navy thing just didn't really work out. I felt like it wasn't meant to be. And I had a different purpose. And so after we went, like he was talking about earlier, after we went to that competition, he just didn't do so well. And so I was pretty strong. I mean, I was strong for a smaller girl. Like I mentioned, I've always been stronger. And so he introduced me to powerlifting. And so he stopped CrossFit. We had one CrossFit date. It was the first time we worked out together.
Well,
and
I tore her ass up.
Never again. Never again. I don't have the heart for that. It was way too much for me. I'm like, I'm never doing this shit again. Don't ever ask me to, no. Mm-mm.
I had her running. It was so hot outside.
You had me doing sled.
We were pushing sleds.
Yeah,
We were
outside.
doing all
Just a
kinds
bunch of stuff I've never done. And so, like, benching, squatting, and deadlifting was like my favorite. But all that other CrossFit stuff, no, I couldn't do it. And so, like, I'm not ever doing that with you again. And so, we actually started lifting together, and we weren't necessarily trying to powerlift, but we were doing powerlifting.
We were just trying to get strong. That's all.
So y'all were just maxing out.
Yeah, so it was mainly just
showing up
squat, bench, deadlift every single day. Yeah, and that's what we did every single day. We just did that, and then he kind of familiarized me with all of that kind of stuff, how to lift, technique, all that. But when we first started out, it was pretty bad. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, the form was poor, everything about it. The way that I went about everything was just so uneducated, so ignorant. And so we were doing that. And then eventually it got to the point where I felt like my back was just torn up. And I think it had been from all those years of just lifting like shit and not really caring. It was mainly ego lifting. I was just lifting because I wanted to feel and look strong and be like badass. And so we eventually got into bodybuilding after that. And so for about, I think it was 2 or 3 years in San Antonio, we just started to try to build up relationships with other bodybuilders. He started getting really big into it. And so he was doing a lot of research and familiarizing himself with that. And then he would teach me. And then that's basically just what happened. And then we just ended up falling in love with bodybuilding, and it's been like that ever since.
Well, it's been a threesome ever since.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So
let me ask you something. Like, you guys met in San Antonio because both of you are you're from California. So what were you like? What brought you out there?
So for me, okay, so I did 10 years in the military, and before I got out, I got my shoulder fixed, and I was living. I was in. Where was I? I was in Temecula at the time living, and I probably only had 2 or 3 months until I got out. And the VA they were force feeding me Percocets. Like I got a bottle of like 300, and I ended up getting addicted to them. And that, along with an alcohol addiction, I ended up losing my family. I have 3 kids, and I ended up basically just kind of going down a really bad route. In the last, like, my saving grace was a rehab called Warriors Heart in Bandera, Texas, and it was like $35,000. And I told them, everything that was going on, my story and whatnot, and the owner of the organization basically sponsored me and paid for the whole thing. So that, because the VA wasn't going to pay for it because it's like special.
Special ops.
Yeah, it was for operators. It was for like for those guys, and it was very very intense. I spent 7 months in a intensive, like, what is it, in care rehab. And when I got out, I had met a buddy, Brian, in rehab, and we decided to sober living and find somewhere in Texas, and we found 10 acres. And we rented a house there, and I just that's what brought me to Texas. Texas saved my life, is the way I see it. Texas literally saved my life, and I'll forever be grateful for that state. But I'll probably never go back there.
Oh man, I mean, I know how it is. I can relate because I used to have Matthias knows I used to have a drinking problem myself. And to be honest, Matthias kind of pulled me out of it because we were working at a gym that we used to train at together. And I was like, kind of had like a drinking problem. Not kind of, I did. And then I got into powerlifting 'cause, like, with powerlifting, I feel like, especially like if you're new, you don't have to be as diligent as like a bodybuilder, but you could still make progress. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
you
like
can
you don't
get
have to do
stronger with
skills and you can get stronger. So I was like, oh, like, yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh, I'm making progress here. So like the progress is making me feel good about myself, but like I'm down in a ditch, so I'm not really putting as much effort. So I kind of like power lifted to like kind of mask what I knew, but I was dodging like real work ethic. Um,
uh-huh.
and then like while I was powerlifting, Matthias got hired at my job, and he was like, "You have to come back to bodybuilding," and I was like, "Okay." And then and then I literally, like, I just got sober, and then I jumped straight back into it. Um, thank you, Matthias. But yeah, man, it's hard. It's hard. I know how it is. It's a big struggle. Seriously.
I feel like some of the greatest bodybuilders to ever live, you got to have some kind of traumatic experience in your life to teach you like what real pain and suffering is. And then when you get into bodybuilding, you kind of have that in the back of your mind, like, okay, like this this is hard, but I've been through worse. Like I can go deeper,
100%.
stuff like that. I
Right.
really feel like those people that have really been through some rough stuff, those are the ones that really know how to like dig deep in bodybuilding.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I just think as a general, most people who bodybuild have some sort of like either insecurity or something that they're trying to get over because
100%. Mhm.
like there's no way that you'll diet that hard, train that hard, and like beat the shit out of yourself every day because you're just satisfied with how your life is. Like there's no way. Like
No, no,
no,
you definitely. For me personally, like I was that chubby kid. Like my parents took me to a nutritionist when I was like 9 years old because I was a circle, bro. Like my first year of football, all I did was for the first like month was run with a trash bag on because I had to make weight for football, and that was the only way that anybody knew how to cut weight.
yeah. I used to do the same when I was wrestling in high school, man. I used to just cut shitloads of weight in high school. I was just running 5 miles every day. It's trash bags, sweats. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Dude,
crazy.
I listened to the last to your last podcast, and I listened to you talk about that, and I remember, like, being I used to fight MMA, and I remember cutting 15 pounds in a week, just not eating, having ice chips, stuff like that. Like
Miserable, literally.
sleeping in trash bags, bro, riding in the car with the heat full on in like 3 pairs of sweats. Like, if I would have known what I knew now, I'd probably be great at fighting because I could have cut down in a healthy manner. But so what?
Like a more sustainable manner.
Yeah. But just like Ryan was saying, like you basically starve yourself. Like you just starve yourself, and it's like, and I remember Des saying like how can guys like that perform at such a high level when they've been starving themselves? Like, how do these power lifters come into these competitions? But it's like when stuff's jacked up here, like you'll find a reason why you need that. Right. Like you will do what it takes.
So I also wanted to ask, like who your guys' favorite bodybuilders is. Like if you could give like a top 3. Like I know you said Luke Sando, but do you have like a top 3?
Like current or all time?
I like all time. They could be either.
I'd say Luke. Luke is my number one. I put Kevin in 2, and then Flex in 3.
Wheeler? Nice. Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah, I like Flex because he was so aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, it's like bonkers.
He just had like he could have been classic if he wanted to. He was it's just so aesthetically such a great X frame. Like
yeah, insane physique. Courtney, do you look to like for inspiration? Do you look at male bodybuilders or do you look at like women bodybuilders?
There's only a couple I really like watch, honestly. One of my favorites, even when I just first started this, was Christina Nicole. You guys probably know who that is.
The woman's bodybuilder.
From the Dragon's Lair.
He is incredible.
She is damn beautiful. Oh god, everything about her. And
I'm like super active on like the r/bodybuilding Reddit forum, and she's posting her pictures on there, and every time I'm like,
yeah, no, she every year. I mean, I feel like every year she has gotten bigger. Every single year, she has just kept. She's
her
so
ability,
beautiful.
Yeah, her ability to keep her femininity is amazing. Like she's huge, right? But she still looks like a woman.
I think that's the woman who's like put a lot of time and years into it, and didn't rush all the stuff that you have to kind of you have to take.
Fantastic genetics as well.
I think genetics plays like a huge part in that, just because you respond to like all the drugs and everything. Like it's just like that is also what makes like a really good bodybuilder, how tolerant they are to
the drugs and the food and all that.
Yeah, Christina Nicole is my fave. Meg Sylvester, you guys know Kula's her.
Awesome.
She even this year I seen her photos and I'm like, man, her legs have come up. Her upper body already looks so phenomenal, but I mean, same thing with her. Each year she just grows. And
she trains hard.
Yeah,
she trains like Uba.
And I just like, I don't know. I've never been very girly. I have my like moments, but I've always been kind of tomboyish growing up with just 2 brothers. And so I love watching women that are kind of like that, like the sweats, the big t-shirts, the kind of like, tomboyish, girlyish. And I just, those are the women that I really like to look up to.
Yeah, Meg's awesome.
My top favorite always.
Yeah, Meg's awesome. I mean, it doesn't help that I literally wish I was English, but yeah.
I swear, it's the food. The food is what has fucked this, like the US up compared to the UK and Australia. Like they're just and Brazil. Their food is just so much cleaner. They just don't have a bunch of processed stuff like we do. Well, I really think that plays a huge role in it.
I was actually watching a podcast with Stefan Kinzo, Boss of Outlaw.
Yeah,
he was talking with some British guy, and he was mentioning how he had an athlete, obviously from Europe, was weighing like 105 kilos. He took a vacation to the US, stayed on his diet, and he came back 110 kilos. Like nothing changed. And then when he came back, he stayed on his diet and he dropped back down. So there's something in our food, whether it's like not properly stated or excess junk and hormones.
Maybe
Right.
that's why the Europeans
Not the good
get it
GH,
out of their
right?
minds.
Not the good GH in the chicken. They're
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They're definitely not giving us that good shit. That's definitely.
No.
yeah. So, but it's just crazy because then it's like, what are we really eating? That's why, like, you know, I was talking to somebody earlier this week and I was like, I don't really believe when they offer us like organic, cage-free, free-range chicken. They're just charging us a premium and it's probably the same.
Man.
Yeah, same chickens, same cows from the same farm. All they did was what?
I said I buy the generic shit. I don't care. I'm not getting fancy.
Oh yeah.
I
value chicken.
Yeah, I can't afford to get organic chicken. Like I just gotta pray that the chicken I'm getting doesn't have stuff that my body don't agree with.
Because the price is just insane too. You get like a normal pack of chicken, at least down here, it's like $2 a pound. The organic chicken's like $7. It's like, what the fuck? It's not a ribeye, dude. Like, I'm not paying for
Right.
it.
And the worst part is like we're eating so much of it, right? So it's like maybe if I was like a normal, like, you know, civilian, then I'd be like, okay, I just eat one chicken breast. I split a chicken breast in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yep. That's you could buy an average person, they could get what we eat and it would probably last them so long. But for us, it's like you would think that we wouldn't be spending so much money because we only have certain amounts of food to eat, but we have to have so much of that food, and so it gets
like
expensive real fast.
yesterday alone, I ate 4 pounds of fish.
Literally. It's funny because like I remember when I first got into bodybuilding, I would come back from like the store. My parents would be like, "How long is that gonna last you?" I'm like, 3 days.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, "You spent $80," and I was like, "Yeah, dude, like, welcome to my life now, you know, like this is what it is."
Bro, we're dropping like 250 like a week.
What are you guys eating in your diet right now?
So we have the same things. Chicken, beef, rice, cream of rice, sourdough bread.
Tortillas.
Keto tortillas, almond milk.
Veggies. So I have my tomatoes, mushrooms, pineapple, apple,
blueberries.
I feel like do you guys buy it fresh or frozen?
Fresh, yeah.
Oh, that's why. Yeah. That I feel like that's where it starts to add up. I'm gonna be so honest. I have not eaten a vegetable since like a year ago.
Dude.
If our coach didn't make him eat vegetables, he would not eat vegetables.
You guys are coached by Daniel.
Yeah, I know.
Danny from Buddy, yeah.
Yeah, I know him from Instagram as well because he used to get coached by Blue.
Yep.
It's like
he's like one of the is he like a big on micronutrients kind of guy? Like he's like very stickler about it, or
I don't so with Danny, like I don't feel like he's a stickler with anything. Like he tells you, you know, this is what you need to have, and if you don't, like you're responsible for your own choices.
Totally.
But it's like, I mean, it's whatever he gives us. That's the Bible, you know. That's what we go by.
No, but he's also very open and to like even in check-ins. So be like, hey, is there anything you would like to add or change in your diet? You know, because y'all know every once in a while you get tired of eating the same thing. So no, I mean he's very open-minded to that as well.
Yeah, if there's like, for instance, he took my peanut butter away like 2 weeks ago, and after like a week without peanut butter, I was like, dude, is there any way we can like drop something somewhere else so that I could just have a little bit of peanut butter? And he was like, yeah, dude. And he just cut some stuff out. He's like, here you go. There's 30 grams of peanut butter. It's not a lot, but it's peanut butter.
What do you put that in? You put that in cream of rice?
Yep.
That's good shit, man. Fuck.
God.
Have y'all ever tried the chicken and cream of rice?
Bro.
He's on that right now.
I
I've had that. I've had
No,
Oh my
don't encourage Matthias. It's
and
disgusting.
ground beef and cream of rice is good too.
yeah,
No,
I
bro.
put
No.
I put seasoning in my rice and I just mix it with my chicken or my beef, and I'm like,
Dude,
oh my
I put
God,
white fish in my cream of rice with
You put
sriracha.
seasoning in the cream of rice?
dude. Hey,
You know, it's like
hell yeah, dude! I put this. It's like this. It's called this cowboy seasoning.
cowboy barbecue.
Cowboy barbecue. Oh my
That
God,
seems
it
good.
smacks
Good.
so good.
It almost tastes like biscuits and
I mean,
gravy.
yeah, what's the difference
Aaron.
between like cream of rice and grits? It's like literally nothing.
Right,
Dude,
yeah.
I literally said I said it's just like eating grits. Like it literally tastes like you're eating grits.
So since you've been working, how long have you guys been working with Danny for?
Ooh. No, yeah. We just this is week 11. Week 11.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
last
what
week we had our work.
what have you like noticed since like, obviously you guys used to work with Des and stuff like that. A good buddy of ours. But like what have you noticed, like things that you guys are like learning, things that may be similar, maybe protein, how much protein do you guys eat? Is like a high protein diet.
So for me, like with Danny, the structure is just insane. Like we have a spreadsheet. It's got everyday things that we need to log: steps, heart rate, blood pressure, weight in the morning, bowel movements, like mood, and that's like every single day. So that by the time we get to check-ins, we have a good idea of like what's going on, like if there are issues.
Collected.
Yes, and that's what I'm a numbers and a data guy. So when I see all that and I can see that progression, that really helps me not only as an athlete but as a coach to like help other people. Like, okay, like I have a broader understanding of how all this works, and like the food. Like I love Des. I love how he coaches. I love his approach. But you work better with with other people, and like right. And with Danny, like we had talked to Danny while we were in prep last year, and we built like this random friendship, and we just got really close. And he would text me a few times a week, like, hey, how are you doing? Like, what's going on with prep? Like, how are you feeling? And it wasn't like he was trying to like sneak in or like steal a client type thing. It was like
genuine.
Yeah, he genuinely cared about like what we were doing. Like he saw like, okay, these people like really are about this, and he just befriended us. And it was like it made the switch a lot easier, because it was like he understood what had been going on for the past year, this that we had two coaches in 1 year, and that we needed like some stability, and we needed some serious structure. Like we are the type of people that like, if you can tell us what to do all day, we can get it done no matter what. But if you're just like, yeah, like if your check-ins are 2 words, 3 words, like you're not giving us anything to go off of, or like work towards, like.
And that's not toward this.
No.
Not,
his ability to communicate, and just the way he treats his clients, like you can tell that he has had poor relationships with past coaches, and poor experiences, and he puts that effort to not have that happen to him and any of his clients. And it's refreshing, because it feels like somebody actually cares about your health, and not just if you get a pro card. Like, if I can get you a pro card, if I can get you ready, it's like, as long as these markers, like as long as everything lines up and you guys are healthy and your lives are good, like
happy,
right, and you're happy,
bodybuilding,
right? Because if all of that stuff is jacked up, if your home life's jacked up, if your work life's jacked up, if your body is not doing the things it's supposed to do, like if your labs are off, like you're not going to progress the way you need to, and it can become harmful. And he made sure that it was a point when we first started that the health and our longevity was like the most important thing. And that for us was huge, because I'm 37. Well, I'll be 37 this year, and I've only been bodybuilding for 6 years. So like, I probably got another 4 years before I'm like at that point where I could, do damage. And I want to be able to make it to that point. Like, I want to be able to do this
Oh,
for
sure.
10, 15, maybe, probably not 20 years, but like, in between 10 and 15. And I feel like I could do a lot of good things. And then this one, bro, that's a generational athlete. Like, she's
Yeah, I was pulling some of you guys. You guys mind if I put up pictures on?
No, go ahead. Yeah,
you feel like those daily like goals that you're outlining, heart rate, bowel movements, all those things are really helpful when it like in keeping the athlete in check during the off season, because obviously like the off season can get like pretty monotonous.
Yeah.
And when you're just checking in, and maybe you're checking in with a coach, and obviously we're not talking about as but in general, you might be checking in with a coach, and they're just like, all right, yeah, plan is good, I mean, just keep following it. Then that can get really like demotivating, because you're just like, how long more do I have that? Whereas in prep, you're just you're seeing that scale drop on a weekly basis, little changes, right? You feel like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I really do. And like with Danny, like, he's so in tune, and he like, his check-ins, we get like a 12 to 20-minute video of him going over our whole week, the whole Excel spreadsheet, going over any changes that we have, any diet changes, what the plan moving forward is, what the plan, X amount of weeks out is. Like, he literally lays everything out so that you have an understanding of what's coming, what you're doing, and what you need to do.
right. No,
Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty. That sounds pretty.
I
Sounds
mean,
like pairs, yeah, for sure.
I think nowadays there's so many tools, right, where you can just be better. And if, like you guys said, like if that helps you just like get that checklist down during the day, and it's like, okay, I did that. Like, that you're working at your best potential, right? Whereas like not leaving anything out on the table.
Right. And I mean, bodybuilding is like, everybody knows, like, you got to be a dog, right? Dogs do the same thing every day. They eat the same thing, right? And all it really comes down to is consistency. Like, if you can be that person that checks those boxes, 350 days out of 365, you check those boxes, that's over 90%. You are automatically going to progress. It's like, it's impossible not to progress.
All right, so let's look at, dude. I mean, look at that face. That's how you know you're in shape, bro. You don't even gotta look at this. If your cheekbones look like that, you're in shape, 100%.
Dude,
That's like ridiculous. Bro, that's like, this is not. I'm not trying to make this sound weird or whatever, but like when I see people with like glute insertions like those, you know how like some people have like they'll be striated, but they have like round glutes.
Yeah.
And some people like their glutes like are like triangles in the corners.
Like
Yeah.
Terrence. It's like Terrence.
Yeah, literally. Like that, in my opinion, like when I see people with glutes like that, I'm like, oh man, it's so sick,
Dude, and we have spent so much time in this off season working on my glutes and hamstrings. Like, I cannot wait to see this to see this again. But like now, like even from the side, like my hamstring, yeah.
How much did you weigh at this show?
194.
And how much do you weigh right now? Aren't you like almost 240 now?
I'm 227 this morning.
Oh fuck, you look 240.
I'm coming down. What's awesome is that, like, in prep, when I was like right around 205, somebody was like, dude, you look like you're like 240. And I'm like, that's the goal. Like, look bigger than you really are.
You carry it well.
Yeah,
man.
This is
How tall are you, Aaron?
I am 5'9". I'm not tall enough to get to 5'10". I'm like 5'9" and 3/4.
Dude, I for some reason I thought you were like 5'11".
Shit, dog.
I'm also like I'm like super manlet. Like I'm like bare 5'7". So I just assume everybody is like towering over me. So maybe that's
we're both
Yeah, man. I mean, those heavy hit hinges are gonna blow this out of the water for sure. But dude, this is
Yeah,
awesome, bro. How much weight do you have left in your cap?
that's it.
What?
194.
And you were 194 here?
Yep.
Holy shit.
So like, yeah. So the goal here for nationals was like, okay, so we feel like I got so flat from dieting that like my arms and my legs took a big hit because they're a lot bigger than than they look here. And so the goal for nationals is to keep the arms and the legs full and continue to cut that waist down and just come in and just look fuller in the arms and the legs and we'll be good.
Bro, let me tell you, I was literally I know you were saying you watched the last podcast. I was just talking about that. This last season myself, and it was the first time I had really, really, really like gotten in shape because I had done a men's physique show when I was 18 and I was lean for, like for what men's physique is. Not like your glutes have to be like stripped.
Right.
But this time it was classic, so I was like, okay, I have to be, in shape. And I just remember like like if your glutes are an underdeveloped part, you have to really push to get them in. And I did
Yeah.
this season, and I feel like I lost so much. Not that I have like a huge upper body anyway, but like I feel like I lost so much pop up top that it was like when I got the stage pictures and I look at myself now in the off season, I was like, I definitely lost tissue like up top, like
Oh,
100%.
for sure. And that's why we're taking it super slow. Like my food's still really high. Like my volume's still really high. Like I'm I guess probably 29 weeks out now, but compared to 29 weeks last year, I'm fucking huge compared to that. And I'm 20 pounds lighter. So I
How much
think
are you?
I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was done saying whatever I was saying.
I was gonna say, how much are you eating right now? Like on a training day, or does it vary?
So every day's the same. I where's my phone? I can tell you exactly my calories. Let's see.
You eat the same amount of food on a train day and a rest day?
I do. Yep.
Nice.
And you're recomping,
I'm sorry.
like you're recomping, which
I
is
am. Yeah.
a good
Yep.
spot
See,
to be in.
I personally can't do that because, bro, I have like literally the worst appetite on the planet. Like as soon as I lose it, and I can't eat for like a week.
Damn. So I'm at 3,625 calories right now.
I mean, that's a fair amount of food.
288 protein, 525 carbs, and 78 fats, 36 fiber.
I mean, dude,
What?
like that's like you've definitely put
I don't have it. Zero.
like that's yeah, that's legit, bro. Like this side chest is crazy. Like I don't got
Yeah.
that like the sweep and the tricep in your arm is like I'm so
You know
envious.
what's crazy?
So,
I am so insecure about my triceps because I feel
oh, me
like
too. I have no arms, bro.
my arms have been like 18 inches for like 10 years, but they just keep like they just change the way they look. They just stay the same size, but they just look different.
That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, really, it's all an illusion, right? Like
I'm too scared to measure my arms.
wow. I literally like at Tampa this last year, they were like, I got off stage and I asked for feedback, and they were like, if you just put all of the rest of your weight cap on your chest and arms, you'll be a pro. And I was like, God, they were literally like, you have no arms. I was like, thanks, I get it. Like,
Like,
you don't got to tell me
as
again.
a guy, that's probably like one of the hardest things to hear. Like, you've got
Yeah,
little
especially
arms.
like
Like,
you,
uh.
you just won an overall, and they're like, you have no arms. I'm like, ah, thanks. I know.
But I work so hard on them. I work
I'm not
so
serious.
hard on them. Though I wouldn't think.
But you're strong too, man.
I
I
had
pull up some of these videos. One, two, man, that's 5 plate hack squat, man. And I know you're like bearing these and they're super light. Is this
Dude,
does Man, I forgot. Danny, does he write your training, or you kind of just do your own thing?
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
he does. He does all of our training.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
everything.
ridiculous. I
He
can't.
is that man takes care of.
I think the best. I bet the best I've ever done on a Cybex hack squat was 5 for like a really like disgusting 6. This is like 20 reps. This is insane.
Dude, it's I haven't.
And you got no reverse band on that, right?
None.
No, yeah. I don't really like that.
How would you like describe your training? Because like you have a pretty explosive way of training, yeah? You like
Yeah. So right now, what we've been trying to do is really like slow it down and focus a lot
yeah.
more on tempo. And I've backed off the weights like a lot, but I'm starting to get back up there with that really good tempo, which is it's just a sign that I'm still getting stronger, which is crazy at 37.
That was a big
Do you
thing for me
feel
to
like
learn. I'm sorry, Matthias, go ahead.
no go?
I was gonna say that was like a big thing for me to overcome is like just stop being so obsessed with weight. Like weight is not the only
Right.
way to make progress, you know, like and then I wonder I'm trying to push like so hard, like trying to get stronger, and then I'm like, why does my shoulder hurt? And like my chest is not sore the next day. You know, you get it? Like
I actually have like another question regarding training, just because like that's like probably like one of my favorite things about bodybuilding. And I noticed like, I'm always watching you guys posts and stuff like that. And I noticed that like now you're working more with like RP, right? And
Yeah. Uh-huh.
how do you find that? Because I think before you were just like training straight through to failure. How do
Right,
you
right. So
feel like that's changed? Like, is it hard for you to just stop at a certain RPE? Like, because
I would say so like the first probably 2-ish weeks we spent figuring out what our RPE was, like figuring out and when you use RPE, you kind of have to you have to be an athlete that's in tune and intelligent enough to understand like what failure is for you. And then what is 2 reps short of that? What's 3 reps short of that? And so the ego, right? You with RPE, you just gotta let your ego go. And if it says it's RP8, then that's what it is. Like you stop 2 reps short of failure, and that's what you get that day. And Danny, like after like 6 weeks, he was like, "All right, dude, like let's send it. Let's see what you got." And he gave me like 2 weeks of straight RPE 910, and I just freaking got after it. And it like it tore me up. He gave me like 2 weeks off after that, where it was like a deload week and then a free week to do whatever I wanted at the gym. But it was like, okay, like this is totally different. Like I'm getting stronger, but I'm not having to destroy myself every single day. So like my recovery is so much better than it was when you're literally going to failure every day.
yeah, do
yeah,
you
I
feel
feel
like from a mental aspect, it's like harder, like, you obviously gave the reins to Danny, but it's like, man, like sometimes you have to be like really accountable, like you said, and oh, was this actually an RPE 8 or was it a 7 or was it a 9?
Mm-hmm.
Because like Ryan and I both train to failure, and even then we've like changed up. We were very like fixated on just like 2 sets at most per exercise. Um, but I guess the big thing is like you have to actually like be like you said, okay with just like, okay, I have to stop here, but you also have to make sure that that was actually like the stopping point.
Right. And which that goes back to like being in tune and being intelligent enough as an athlete to understand your body and what your maximal effort is. Because I absolutely love like training to failure, but at the same time, when we're looking at it from a longevity standpoint, like look at Ronnie Coleman, right? Ronnie Coleman trained to failure, trained super heavy, and now he can't even walk. Like, so those little changes, I feel like in the long, these are like little things here and there that are going to help me get to that like 10 to 15 years of bodybuilding without having to have like these major surgeries, freaking pec tear, bicep tear, tricep tear, quad tear. Like,
man, Danny's really big on that too, as far as like longevity goes and wanting us to be very, very healthy. And he's even brought that up to us as well, the whole Ronnie Coleman thing. And, you know, being strong is nice, but you also don't want to injure yourself or overwork yourself for no reason, you know?
I feel like the RP style, like, if I ever was to try it, that would be like the biggest challenge, is just like mentally back, because I know me, like if I have headphones on and I'm under a bar, I want to snap it in half and chuck it through the roof. So to be able to like be able to be like, ah, yeah, like you're in the middle of a set, you're like, ah, that's good. Like it's such a
that's me.
Well, there's been times too where like I'll do that, right? Sometimes I'll go too heavy on accident and I'll fail, and I'm like, shit, I can't go higher than this. So there's been a couple of times where I have texted Danny and I'm like, hey Danny, I maxed this weight out, you know, but I can't go any higher RPE. So then he'll like guide me and say, hey, you know what? Drop this weight, stay here, and then just try to focus on the RPE. Because I mean I've done it multiple times where I think like, oh, I got this. And then I think that I have it for the next set because I still have 2 more sets of RPEs and then I can't do it. And so that's when, again, I have to look back and say, hey, Courtney, like, right, are you ego lifting right now? Are you ego lifting or are you lifting with a purpose? So I've had to go back a couple of times and really look back at my numbers and see and make sure I'm just progressing in that and not just focusing on being strong.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, and with Danny, do you guys have like he gives you the spreadsheet, or do you guys like? Because I know RP has an app. Do you use that app, or you guys use the spreadsheet that he gives you?
No, he created a huge Excel spreadsheet, and it's. I wonder if you guys could actually see it from here. Let me see. Where is that? Okay, it just turned black.
I'll pick it up.
So I don't know. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Where's the camera on this thing?
No, you're good.
I mean, yeah, that shit looks legit. Yeah, that looks pretty extensive.
When we actually first started this, I actually was a little intimidated. That's what Aaron and I said. This is a lot. Like I don't know if I could do all of this with my job
like
and stuff.
Like the tracking and the RPE.
Yeah, but like you said in the very beginning, we've always been very structured. And like if I fall off and feel like I don't have a purpose or I'm not doing anything, I just find myself getting very depressed. And so I have to constantly just have plans or it's just some type of structure where I feel like I'm waking up in the morning, I'm getting something done, or I have some plan. And so it really helps us out, especially so his training really helps us out with that.
Yeah, the structure is it's phenomenal, honestly. It's so great.
Yeah, because
for sure.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say it's funny how like that works with bodybuilders, that if you're like, if you don't feel overwhelmed, you're like you're literally like, it's so funny because like normal people will be like, they feel overwhelmed and they're like, oh my god, like if we don't feel overwhelmed, then I'm in a bad mood. Yeah, then I'm in a bad mood.
Well, that's why I feel like for the most part we thrive a lot better in prep because we have all these and it's just like, again, I was talking to somebody yesterday and I was like, oh, in prep it's like it's me time. Like doesn't mean I'm gonna be an asshole, but it is like me time. Like if I'm gonna train at this time, like there's nothing that's gonna change that, you know, my water, everything. But I do find, yeah, that in the off season sometimes, you know, speaking for myself, it's just like I approach it, and I recognize it's probably not the best way, but I approach it as just like train hard, eat hard, you know, gear hard. It's just like, and it's just like shit's gonna happen because at the end of the day, I know that like you know, I'm training hard. You know, I'm not leaving anything in the tank. But you know, it is sometimes like a thing that I think about. It's like for you guys, like you guys have all these things, and like I don't know how I would feel just like having to check off all these boxes, but I guess it does work because it does keep you in that prep mindset. Whereas maybe you just have like a once a week check-in and it's just like,
Yeah.
hey, you look sick, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, the feedback has probably been like the biggest like positive impact is the amount of feedback that we get compared to what we were used to. And I just really think it just sets you up to be so much more successful when you have a coach that literally will take the time and make a 15-minute video going over everything you've done over the past week and then everything that he expects from you going forward. Like there's no questions, right? Like everything's answered every week. I watch my video and at the end he's like, if you have any questions, like let me know. And it's like, I don't have any questions. Like, bro, you hit every single thing I could possibly think of.
Yeah, he always goes through everything he speaks about. He always speaks on his reasonings behind it. Why would you, what would you, why and then he always, of course, wants our input as well. Like, right. I think that we should do this, but let me know how you feel about it. I mean, right. He's very.
If you're not comfortable with something, like, let me know. Like, if you're not comfortable with using this drug, that's fine. We can find something alternate that may not be as negative when it comes to side effects type stuff. Like, and he's very good when it comes to like our money. Like he's not telling us like, hey, you need to buy this, and this. He's like, hey, if you can get this would really be great for us. But if not, we can wait, until you can. There's nothing that's ever like, if you can't do it, then we're screwed. It's like, we're going to make it work no matter what. Like he's like, bro, you guys don't even need to be on drugs. Like we can make this work without it. Like, obviously, I am, but he's not pumping me full of stuff. I'm on the lowest doses I've ever been in since I've started bodybuilding.
And his body's responding very well.
Right. My body is responding so well to everything. Like it's
I mean, that's ideal.
Right. I don't want to jinx myself, but like everything's going great right now. And it builds that confidence going into, this national show that is, it's pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's look so first I remember I found out about you guys because obviously Matthias is friends with Dez and you guys were getting coached by Dez, and I guess I can say that I'm friends with Dez now as well, but I think me and Matthias were both in prep, and both like our first times trying to really get shredded, and Matthias was like, bro, look at Dez's clients, and they sent me and I was fucking floored because you guys were healed. And then so yeah, let's just look at some pictures right here.
This is my Instagram to look at.
Robin,
this is my favorite Instagram to look at.
Bro, so it's funny enough, I have a friend who also works at the warehouse, really good buddy of mine. He has fucking literally zero interest in the gym. He literally doesn't even train, I don't think. But he's become a good friend of mine. So he watches the podcast actually. And he was like, oh, what's gonna be the next one? I was like, oh, we're interviewing some friends of mine. And I was like, showing the physiques, and I have it cut off right now, but I showed him Courtney's legs, and he was like, he couldn't he was like, there's no way, like this is crazy. Like seriously, this is like retarded.
Just to touch on
yeah.
Have you always had like that genetic disposition? Like
no.
No, I have. So I have been sober for 7 years. So prior to that, growing up, I've always been like bigger. I was never. I don't even want to say like fat, but I was always pretty heavy. But I was always lower body heavy as well. But anyway, I actually didn't get very, very, very small until I was on drugs. That was probably the only point in life that I was very, very small. But I mean, I've always been bigger. I've always been like stronger. And now, see, even looking at those photos, I'm so proud of my legs. But
now
we are working on
incredible.
my upper body.
Like,
I got to the point I told Aaron, I said, man, I'm so sick and tired of people complimenting my legs. I wish I would get more compliments on my damn upper body. So we're working on that right now.
Dude, let me tell you, I feel you. Like I feel like me and Matthias were literally known in Miami as being the guys who only had legs.
Right. And that's great. And that's amazing, right? Not everyone has those legs, but it's like I work so hard on my upper body. Like, please come on. Like, I need you to show up for me, upper body.
I always think it's so funny how that works, because honestly, like if we took like a poll of all bodybuilders and did like a consensus and be like, what is the hardest muscle group to bring up? Everybody would say probably legs first and then back second.
Yep.
Yep, not us.
Exactly. Like if I do like 3 sets of leg extensions a week, my quads are still gonna be my upper body. It's like,
and it's actually funny because so we had check-ins Wednesday, and Des, that's my favorite photo.
That's such a sick
I mean,
photo.
I'm sorry I said Des. We were talking about Des. Danny had actually changed my training Wednesday. So now I'm only doing legs once a week because he was like, because I really need to work on my hamstrings and my glutes and adductors. He said, but you don't want to work quad. He said, you're good on your quads, and I agree. But for so long, we were trying to grow, like just before we actually started competing, or I guess prepping to do our first show. I was always so insecure about my back because I felt like I had no back, but I had all legs. And so now I feel like I've worked really hard on my back, but now my upper body still lacks. So that's what we're doing right now. We're really trying to focus on my hamstrings and glutes and then bring out my upper body to match. Because I know my lats. My lats are probably one of my smallest points. And I know I need to bring that up really.
For sure. Sure. I'm not even joking.
What are you primarily doing to build up your hammies?
Huh? They both are talking.
Huh?
I totally cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, like, what are you doing right now to, like, how do you have that set up to build up like your hammies and your adductors and your glutes? Like, what's that training day looking like?
So as far as training legs, it was mainly like just a quad focus day. And then he had my glutes, hamstrings kind of tied in together. But now he gives me my calves 2 times a week. I can pick any days to do that. So I throw my calves in. And then so my legs now, I have lying leg curls, squat of choice, leg extensions. Well, I haven't done goblet squats in a long time. He threw in some goblet squats, so we'll see how that goes. And then he has me on seated leg curls, RDLs, hip adductions, and hip thrusts.
Yeah, so
that's all in the same day.
Yeah, that's all my legs.
I'll fucking take it out of you.
How many?
Yeah.
How much volume is that looking like?
And that's well, that's what he wants.
What'd you say about volume?
Like what's the volume looking like on that day? Like, are you guys doing like 2 sets, 3 sets?
So I have 2 sets each, and then each is around 12 to 14. I have one exercise on the squats where it's about 8 to 12, but the rest is 12 to 14 and 10 to 14 reps.
We stay in that like 8 to 4, 8. I'd say 8 to 16. Like 8's usually the lowest, and then 16 is like the highest we'll go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've kind of come that way myself too. Like because me and Matthias obviously we're training partners for like quite a while. When we first started training together, I was doing like sets of 5. And I was like, and it is good. You can still get strong, and you can definitely still build muscle doing sets of 5, 100%. I'm not gonna say you can't, but at least for me personally, I just feel like I respond better when I do like sets. Like I keep my sets really no less than 10. I really train between 10 to 20, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like the teens is really where you get that like good hypertrophy, is that in those teens. Once you get to like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, like that's where the real like growth happens, because those first 5 to 10, well, 5 to 8 reps, it's almost like your body's, not that you don't feel it, but you haven't hit that point where you're like working hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Like in those initial reps, you're like building up that connection, and then after you're just grinding through the actual tissue, actually breaking it down. Especially like in the lower body, I feel like like higher reps like are a lot more efficient. I feel like it's just like I like to do like a high rep leg press. Like I'll do like a
Oh, I
30
love
rep
it.
leg press.
Dude, I warm up. I warm up with a 50 set on leg press, just to like. I need to make sure that that blood is freaking in there and it is moving before I stack that bitch all the way to the end and just crank it.
This guy's doing maxed out leg press for sets of like 15 RPE, like RAR. I'm such a pussy. But this, yeah, man, these shots are ridiculous. Like this side tricep is like, I mean, everybody
That
knows,
shit's so next level.
everybody knows I'm like a '90s fanboy. Like Courtney literally looks like straight out of '90s women's bodybuilding. Like this is insane. Obviously, maybe not like Kim Kazep's. Oh my God, Kim Kazepsky size, but this is like stupid.
This was your first show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we both only done one
Aaron's
show.
too, yeah.
Yeah.
This is
You
crazy.
guys find that you guys are like naturally like get in shape very easily? Like what did
Oh,
that
yeah.
take?
What did you say?
What did it take to get in that shape? Because like both of you were like peeled out of your minds.
Like shredded. Like, oh my God, no, nothing left.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that like at 8 weeks out, we were both like, we like looked at each other like, bro, we're fucking peeled. Like, what the fuck? Like, literally woke up one morning and we used to have a mirror in our kitchen, like a huge, like 6 foot mirror on the wall. And we'd like I'd pull my shirt up and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I've never had abs like that. I don't even have to suck it in. Like, what the hell? But
I gotta hold your
I
breath
really
anymore.
right. It was, I think we prepped for like 25 weeks. Like people do like a 12 and a
Yeah.
16-week prep. And I really feel like for people we're thicker, right? So I feel like that longer prep, although mentally it's more fatiguing because you're on that diet longer, you're able to get into that kind of shape.
Well, it's easier to get into that shape because you have a longer period to kind of acclimate to it as well.
Right. And you have more room for error. Like if there's mistakes and stuff, you can still figure things out when you're that far out.
Aaron said 8 weeks, but for me, it was after about 10 weeks. After about 10 weeks, I started to really feel it, like mentally. And then it got to the point where I started actually feeling very insecure about my death face because my death face got so bad that I was just like, oh my God, I look really bad. Like I felt like I look good, like my conditioning.
Do you mind if I pull it up?
Yeah,
Yes,
go
pull that
ahead.
shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was gnarly.
Look at that, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, if
Yeah.
your face looks like that, you're in shape, like 100%. That's like you guys were on
Actually,
Dorian 93 mode.
and I
Dude,
think
that was those videos. Yep.
well, and I think that was a week or 2 weeks after our show.
Oh yeah, that was post show.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
let's
was
go.
like
We gotta find
You
the
gotta scroll down.
Hey, you gotta go. Oh, right there, dude.
which one? Let me know
Yeah,
which
look,
one.
look at that.
The middle one?
This one?
Yeah, the middle one, the front lap.
no.
Oh,
No, the front lap. Look at that.
Yield.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks out.
That's insane, bro. Look, the legs are like so dry.
Yeah.
Dude. And that was so cool is we were so dry like 2-3 weeks out that it was just we got to coast for the rest of for like probably our last 4 weeks of prep. Des was like, hey, you guys are spot on. Like we don't need to pull a bunch of food. Like
Yeah.
I think I was at like 2,800 calories going into the show. Like I was still eating a good amount of food.
Yeah,
I
mean,
hate
it's
seeing
ideal,
these.
you know, if you can
I
eat
want
into
to do
it,
prep
you
right
can-
now.
it's gonna reap your best.
Courtney,
life.
what did your carb up look like? Do you remember?
I wish I had.
Were you eating a fuck ton of food?
Both of our carb ups are pretty similar. You know what's crazy is she ate more food than me to carb up.
Yeah, no, I
You
mean,
know
I
what's crazy.
see that. She was dry, bro. Like
The detail and the delt, like, bro, that's like otherworldly. Seriously.
In Dallas, but it was probably almost the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was around 190 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 41 grams of fat.
Damn, that's like more than I was eating in prep. What the fuck, dude?
And then,
Bro. Hey,
And then-
Danny explained this to me the other day.
Or
'cause
are you
he's
eating that
actually-
right now?
No, that was
No.
prep. That was like 2 weeks out.
Bro, I'm pissed
Oh.
off.
Bro, Danny was telling me, he was like, you
Had to
guys are
suffer,
so
bro.
dead.
I mean, you
You're
got
so
suffered.
dead. Eat all, like, you guys have to have this food or you'll fall flat like so hard
Yeah.
because you guys are just so dense.
Ryan, pull up that front relaxed.
This one?
This one, yeah, that shit's sick.
Dude,
Yeah, that's so fucking legit.
you got a tiny waist too.
Dude, her waist is so small. I remember like being in bed with her and just being
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh my god,
She
like
would
you're
do
so
this,
you're
this
so
fast, and you'd be
little."
like,
I actually I think
small.
this might have I can't remember which one. I think I'm trying to remember the one Matthias sent me. I think it was the one that we literally just looked at, this one. And I was like, and then I was like, I was trying to find, he sent me the page and I was scrolling through Courtney's Instagram and was like, what national show did this girl win? And then I realized this was like, she hadn't even competed yet. I was like, what? And then I looked at Aaron's page too, and I was like, how are these people are still not professionals? Like, this is crazy.
Dude, we got that a lot, and I tell her all the time, like I take a shit ton of pride in the fact that we waited, we took the time, like we spent 5 years diligently working towards just wanting to be so prepared that when we showed up, if people saw us, they knew they lost. There was no chance. Like that was I wanted us to get to the point where like people thought we were professionals. Like and I feel like that mindset like it's gonna pay dividends going forward because we didn't spend the last 5 years like beating ourselves up in prep. Like we've only done one prep. Like our bodies are still fresh, they're still good, like they still respond very well to tiny changes here and there. And I just think that the fact that we like took the time, right, and we didn't go crazy on drugs, like we
had a couple of bad experiences.
we did. You're just kind of like figuring stuff out. Like, you know, you make some mistakes, but we didn't make any mistakes that were so bad that it caused us to like stop doing this.
Yeah.
And we're both still like I'm in a good place health wise. She just got labs where she's getting ready to go into a good push phase, get fucking huge while I get little. So it's the time that we spent building what we have now was like, looking back, it was worth it. Like it was worth it. Like we're not fucking Instagram famous. Like every, you know, people out here doing 10 shows before they like. Who cares? Who cares about Instagram? We want to do it, and we're doing it the right way.
Yeah, totally. For
You
sure.
gotta do it because you love it, not just because you're trying to get a code, right?
Yeah, exactly.
100%. So I mean, what national got?
doing this.
Oh, my bad. What national show do you guys think? Like, do you guys have one planned? Do you guys know which one you're gonna do, or?
So she's gonna take the rest of the year off and go into a push phase, and I will be in Dallas in December trying to show the young guys.
I'll see you there, brother. Well, yeah, I'll go
You
to the
going?
show. I'm taking
Oh.
the rest.
Oh yeah, you're right there. You better.
I'll be there. Ryan has to come up.
All right, let me see.
Yeah, Ryan, you should definitely fly out for nationals. That'd be sick.
If I get the PTO approved, I'll do it, brother, for sure. Your boy,
Dude, that'd be
You gotta get-
that'd be sick. That'd be sick.
But yeah, man, I would love to go. I mean, yeah, for sure. And dude, I mean,
You and me both.
Right.
Courtney's taking the year off. She's gonna turn pro and then qualify for the Olympia in the same year.
Dude. Literally,
That'd be cool.
the first plan was after that last show was I was gonna take the next year off and build, and I was gonna go into bodybuilding, and she was gonna get ready and go to nationals, but it just worked out where
No, my body crashed basically.
Her labs were.
My labs came out.
Yeah, her labs came back and they were not good. So she had to immediately go into a health phase. And she's like nearing the end of that health phase. And my labs came back and they were super good. And so Danny was like, dude, you have a pro physique. Like, let's focus on keeping the I want to go beat up on little kids. I'm not trying to go beat up on dudes my age. Like that, I feel like that'd be, no offense to anybody that is a master's athlete, but I know that I'm they can't hang with me on stage. Like I'm too dense. Like I'm a hybrid. I'm black and white, so I have big when I need to. Like I can come down really fast. Like I want to go, and I want to go with the best dudes that are in America. And I don't want to go against guys that are my age. I want to go against those young guys that like think that they are the next big thing coming.
What are your thoughts about that? That like they dropped, they made masters like 35. Like, isn't that like that's when people are hitting their prime? Like, I don't get that.
What's crazy is I was like, bro, I've never felt this good. I've never looked this good until I was this old. Like I truly feel like for men, 40, those years do its best work. I mean, unless you've been doing it since you were 19, like if you're 35, you've been doing that shit for 15 years, like you're probably near the end of your career. Unless you're what's his name? What's that dude's name? Kamal?
Dexter.
Unless you're 50 and dude, right? I can only pray that I can last that long, because Kamal is a whole, oh my God. Kamal is like the greatest thing in the world to me, because isn't he like 50?
52. Yeah.
What the nobody, how? Like what? If he went and did masters anything, he's gonna destroy it.
Yeah, big time. He's ridiculous.
Oh, Ryan.
We're gonna take this time off to just try to build my upper body and basically get my health back to normal. I mean, Danny and I even discussed, hopping on a couple things while I was in a bulk, but it only depends on my labs, as long as the labs come back good. And so, I mean, I'm really just focusing on that. And then next year, I definitely want to do a show. But again, I'm going to have to re-qualify. So I'm going to have to go to nationals again. So forth. So
we all know here that regional show is going to be. She could probably go in 8 weeks out of the way.
Yeah, 100%.
And he asked me, so because I check in Wednesdays, and Danny even asked me. He said, do you want to do a cut right now? Do you want to do a cut just to kind of see where you're at, and then from then on, we can go into a bulk, or you can just do a bulk. But he and I both agreed that I just think, I think mentally, I would only want to go into a cut right now because it's summer. I'm gonna be wearing a bikini. I think it just would make my mental feel better. But I told him, like, long term, I don't think that it's worth it because of the purpose that the purpose I'm trying to attain. And so I just feel like cutting right now isn't starting the bulk, put on size, use this time, and then just go from there. So
have you found that like you just mentioned how you would only want to cut because knowing that it's summer and that you probably want to be out in a bikini, go out to the beach or the lake or whatever. Like how do you balance that? Because I guess for just like for for the 3 maybe female viewers that we have, hopefully we can grow sooner than later. But just like, how do you overcome that? Because I mean, even as a male, I think like we kind of just are like, damn, I'm fat, and like to the average
be a fat piece of
be
shit.
like,
No,
You'll
that's me. I think if it wasn't for him, I probably would be like that. But Aaron, I think because I have it's taken a long time, but I'm finally very secure with myself and who I am as a person. So I think that helps a lot. But I think having a partner also who helps, because usually most of the time when I'm really nasty about myself or down, he's the one that's going to be like, Courtney, you look fine. Okay, this is all for a bigger purpose. Remember that this is all for a reason, you know? So you're going to feel uncomfortable at times, but you have to remember that, like, and he always tells me, not every woman can do what you do, you know? So you need to remind yourself of that. And I do. And so, I mean, women are probably the same way about it as you guys are. I mean, I get there and I just feel nasty, but then I have to remind myself sometimes, like, hey, I'm going to be thicker. I might look a little heavier, but, I mean, because everybody wants to look lean. You know, everybody loves that. Everyone loves to look that way. That people know the, I guess, the work that has to be put in and the mental that has to be put in to get that lean. And so everyone likes to look that way, but we all know that it's not healthy, long term. And so it's just one of those things where I have to battle with mentally, but as long as I tell myself, like, hey, it's okay. I know that, for example, when I'm getting heavier, at the gym, I even told Aaron this the other day. That's funny that I bring this up because I told him I like to work out with a tank top and tights sometimes, because I like to. There's days where I'm like, you know what, I feel like I look really good. You know, I feel proud about the body I'm building, but there are times when I wear clothes like that and I'm at the gym and I find myself like constantly watching myself or fixing myself, or and so I told him, you know, times like that, I just have to put on a big t-shirt and sweats. And so when I get into the gym, that's my only focus. I'm not watching how I look. I'm not watching my body parts. Is anything tucked in or something? Like, I'm straight. It's just working out. I don't have to worry about what I look like. And so I think that helps a lot, especially when I'm getting thicker. I think if I wear comfy clothes, and I'm more comfortable within myself, you know.
yeah, for sure.
So,
something I try to remind her of a lot. I think a lot of people, when you're trying to chase a goal that's like so high up there that it seems so far away, like you have to constantly remind yourself, like, big picture mentality. Like, just because I don't feel good or I don't feel like I look good today, that's okay. Like, what I'm working for, like, I know that at the end of this road, the bigger picture is what's worth it. Like, I'm working towards something that less than 1% of this population can ever say that they have done. And that's something that just in itself, like, we should all be proud, because the rest of the world is not doing this. The rest of the world is out having fun, like partying, going to parties, like spending money on shit food, like just doing whatever they want. They're literally living for that day, and we're living for months down the road. Like this is a piggy bank, and we're dropping coins in it every single day until it gets so full that it busts. And when it busts, that's when that big picture takes place. And that's when we become who we've been trying to become this whole time.
Well, you can even ask yourself that, like, how many times have, and you guys have probably experienced it, I know you have, but how many people have actually come up to you before and been like, oh, like, dude, I want to look like you, or like, let me train with you, or let me do this. But do they ever actually do it?
All the time.
No. Yeah, but they don't ever actually. I've had so many people come up to me and say, hey, write me a plan or write me food, give me ideas. And I've gone out of my way and done that. And have they ever stuck to it? No. And it's because a lot of people don't do this. Like, and so Aaron told me that too. For a long time, I had to really tell myself, like, Courtney, like, you're a lot stronger than you think. Like, this, not everyone can do this. And so everyone, like you guys, us, I mean, it's a lot. And it's something that we should all be very, very proud about. Because, you know, nowadays I feel like, too, I see a lot of people just kind of competing for fun.
Right.
And there's nothing against that. You know, that's amazing. But me personally, prep is so damn expensive. I'm like, I don't even know how you guys would have to do that. Would want to do that just for a hobby, you know?
Right.
And I want to take bodybuilding. Um, if I can make this my career and make it so much training. I love the lifestyle. I love the people. I don't think Aaron and I have ever actually met more down to earth people than we have since we started bodybuilding.
Sure.
You know, so it's a different world. I feel like.
Yeah.
So is that the end goal, like Olympia? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm only 26, so he told me the same thing too. I got time.
Bro,
That's why I'm just taking this time to kind of, huh?
What'd you say, Ron?
Sorry, I just think my internet's cutting in and out. I was saying that, dude, you got so much time. Seriously.
Oh,
Right.
oh yeah, so much time. And so we're just trying to enjoy it. Enjoy it.
And those keep stacking those good days. You know, you're gonna have bad days, right? It doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter. Like, and I don't mean to sound like I'm, I guess, just not empathetic for other people, but like, everybody has a sad story, right? Nobody cares about your sad story until you're up there on that stage with those medals and that trophy. Like, they do not care who you are until you win, right? Anybody can compete, right? Anybody can compete, but very few can win, right? And it takes a different kind of person to do that. And I just feel like, especially us four, like, real ones understand the mental and emotional that goes into this game and like everything that it really takes.
And what's crazy about that, you know, nobody cares until you win, and then once you win, a week later, nobody cares about
Nobody gives a shit. Then it's about what you're gonna do next. How can you be better than you just were? Right? That's that Kobe, right? That Mamba mentality. Like, you know, the job's not finished. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and smile about something I haven't completed, like it's not done. And then when I finish it, right, I'm going to take, you know, a few days and yeah, like I fucking did it. Right? But then it's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah, but I think that's also why you should always make sure it's very important to be in love with bodybuilding and do it for yourself and not for anybody else, because I mean, we all know that no matter what, at the end of the day, there are good. You can be the best in the world, and people are still gonna see you. And so I think that with bodybuilding, I feel like you should always just make it about yourself. I mean, bodybuilding is a selfish sport. It is, you know, no doubt about that. But I think if you continue to make it about you and your own journey and your self growth and everything else, I think that should be the real purpose of bodybuilding. Prep, we struggled a lot because we thought going into prep it would be fun, and like it was fun, but it was doing a prep together was so ridiculously tough. I mean, there was a week where we actually thought that we probably weren't going to make it because it was just so. We're talking about prep, our first prep together.
Do you want to go outside?
Yes.
Tell them you're going to unplug it.
I'm going to unplug you guys. We're going to go outside.
You're cool. I'm going to pause it real quick.
Yes. Right.
you know, going back to, like, you know, I actually did want to understand that dynamic, especially like, you know, I guess like the only real like bodybuilding relationship out there that we can kind of see on Instagram where two people prep together is probably like John Jewett and Roxy.
Dude.
Or Megan Kuba.
But like and Megan, yeah, Meg. Did you find like the prep to challenge your relationship at any point? Or
100%. 100%. Bro, when we probably got 10 weeks into our 25-week prep, and we decided then that we're not going to prep again together at the same time.
No,
right? Because
even
we both can't be crazy at the same time. Somebody's got to have like somebody has to have a normal brain while the other person is going through prep.
well, emotionally rational.
Yeah.
No, because even Des told us, he said, yeah, I think that you guys should probably not ever go into prep again together. I said, I think we agree with that. We're not gonna do that.
Yeah, it was hard because I mean, you know how you get on prep and see you get anxious, you get tired of people, like everything annoys you, and now you have your partner, your spouse, the person you're like your ride or die, they're going through the same thing. We had some really like difficult times, like, and looking back on it now, like I'm glad we did it because I feel like all of that struggle emotionally in our relationship helped us after to kind of like respect and understand each other on like a different level. Like we got to see each other like at our lowest points, like struggling, like I don't know if I can do this, like can I do this, like will I do this? And then like the only good thing I found was that like we were able to push each other, right? And then we were able to help each other if somebody fell down. Like, you know, if she wasn't feeling it one day, like I could, hey, you're good. Like you are I would literally tell you, you're the best in the fucking world. Like, if people just don't know yet, okay? Like when people see you, they literally are like, oh, because you're so good. Like, understand that, like feel that, and you learn to like kind of pick each other up. But like, it's hard. It is hard. We cried a lot. Like we cried a lot separately. It was hard. It was hard.
And like you said, like now in like future preps, say like, well, you know, you're about to start, you know, actually dialing in those last 20 weeks, right? Yep. Courtney's gonna know like, oh, okay, I know how Aaron feels like around 10 weeks. It's in 100 grams of partner,
yeah,
and she's, you know, they've never gone through that. They're gonna say like, what's the big deal? Like, and then you start factoring all these things like loss of sleep, the drugs, right? You know, for us, you know, males, we start throwing in Tren and Halo and all this bullshit, and it's like that just changes you, like whether you like it or not, like it changes
you.
Yeah, mentally, it
yeah, because because I know prep, like I know libido, quick,
right down. 6 weeks out.
Shit, at like fucking like 10 to 12 weeks. Yeah. Like we're very healthy, like sexually.
Yeah.
So we will have sex like multiple times a week, but in prep it was like one time in 12 weeks. And I think we were on vacation in California. Huh?
I'm saying that's how it is. It's funny you say that because I used to date a girl in high school.
Oh yeah.
She was whatever, but I used to date a girl in high school, and I did my first prep right when I got out of when we had gotten to college, and it was the first time I had ever dieted for a show, and I was natural, so like I had nothing at all,
nothing to help,
nothing. And she was like oh, you're cheating. It's like, dude, I'm like feel like I'm gonna die actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm not jerking off. I'm not screwing somebody else. I barely have enough energy to go take a shit. Like I promise you nothing's going on.
Like
I don't even want to get off the couch to take a piss. Seriously, that's how it is.
Yeah, you're
like
you're debating.
What's a boner? Like at 12, like what's a boner?
I mean, you guys watched the last podcast, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
That shit surprised me when Des was like, "Oh, I had like an empty jug of like a protein." Did you guys see that? The whey protein, like So like during prep, like his last 4 weeks,
Oh, how he would be
got
on
the
the
whey protein, he would just piss into it because he didn't want to walk to the bathroom.
That's funny. He told us though that he would piss in trash cans on the couch. We thought that was funny,
Bro.
Because I completely understand. Like having no energy to even get up and like wake up, and
you're just like laying there and you're like, I'm so tired, but I have to pee. And you have to literally like mentally like coach yourself into getting up and walking to the bathroom. I got to the point where I just sat down and peed because I was so tired of standing, and I'm like leaning up against the wall, and I'm like, this is so tired. I'm just gonna sit down. I'm just gonna fucking sit down, or I'm gonna piss in the shower. I'm not gonna stand here and try to hit this hole. Like I'm so tired.
It's funny because like I would piss and I'd be like, wow, like I feel like my soul is literally leaving.
Especially, bro,
It's weird.
when you're on like clean and
You
no
go ahead.
carbs, the water just flows through you, you know? So like when you like drink like a gallon of water or so, and like the clean and just the no carbs, like when you take a piss, it literally feels like you're levitating.
Dude, it's crazy. It's so wild. Like it just does. You pee so much, and then you wake up in the middle of the night and you have to fucking pee so bad, like,
But for me
and pooping, you feel like you got shit, and then you can't poop. Yeah. And then me, dude, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm gonna make some shit come out. No, that's how you get hemorrhoids.
On the wall.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He's like, fuck it, this thing's coming out one way or another, brother.
Dude, I'm like, I've eaten twice today. I know I have poop in there. Like, nah, nothing's coming out. Nothing.
But like, it wouldn't hit Aaron and I the really bad feeling. It would be weird because we would get up at like 7 in the morning.
Oh, feel great.
We would feel great. Take all of our stuff.
Earlier than that, we were waking up at 5 to go do cardio. Remember? Yeah, we'd wake up at like 5 and go do cardio. Feel great. Like,
but by noon, we could just feel it. Everything would just drop no matter what, and we were just like, man, we had to sit on the couch. We would do nothing. Yep. The rest of the day, we would do absolutely nothing and just lay there and watch TV.
Bro, how our last month of prep, one of our cats knocked our brand new TV off of the stand. This was like a 65-inch TV. It broke it, and so the last 4 weeks of prep, we didn't have a TV. We were watching shows off of our cell phone. We would set it up on a couch on a little table. And we'd sit there and lean in on each other and just watch on this fucking iPhone 13. We would watch movies and shit. And we made it work. But like, dude,
that's real love right there,
dude.
I'd be like testy as fuck,
dude. When it happened, we both. Dog, gross. What's crazy is that, was it after or before? Did the window happen after or before the TV in prep? Remember the window to your car? It was after, huh?
Oh, it was after, yeah.
So it was the same week. Yep. The cat knocks the TV off, right? And we're like spending so much money on stuff for prep that we're like, fucking, we can't afford it. There's nothing we can do. Let's not be angry. We kind of looked at each other. We're like, I guess we're gonna start fucking reading.
Yep.
Bro, like 2 days later, her fucking she locked her keys in her car and couldn't get it out. Was trying to get the window to come down to put something in. The window shatters, and it's fucking middle of summer in Arkansas, 98 degrees outside with the humidity 111. Like we're like, bro, we're like, God, we got you. Like, we get it. We're not going to go at each other. You're testing us. We're not going to quit. Like, we're not going to quit. But it was rough, dude. Like that week was hilarious. It was so rough. It was hilarious.
Oh yeah. Cause we kept telling ourselves, we were like, this is God testing us because we are finally learning to just communicate and speak about our differences. Because we've been struggling so much right now. And I said, we're doing right, but he's just gonna keep on testing us.
Yeah,
that was fun.
You learn so much about yourself in prep, man. It's actually crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I loved it, dude. I felt like the it was physically the hardest thing I've ever done. Um, I know. She's like, yeah, keep talking. It was like physically like the hardest thing I've ever done. But mentally, like I always felt like I could find another gear. Like I felt like I could keep going. Like if I had to prep fucking 6 more weeks after that, like I could. My body might not have made it, but like mine, like they to do, and regardless of how you feel, nobody else is going to do those things for you. So you got to get them done. And like that hardening of the mind and that like desensitizing like yourself to how you actually feel. Like I feel like that just makes you so tough, like just such a tough person.
Yeah. And there's definitely some moments in prep where you just kind of start feeling like unstoppable. Like you're like
that euphoria.
You're like an hour of cardio, 50 grams of carbs, like fuck yeah, like let's
Easy.
go. Like
right.
You know,
And especially
I
feel like when my milligram dosage gets towards like 800 or 900, I feel like I'm like unkillable.
you basically go into God mode where you're just like nothing can stop me.
I
No
feel
one
like a
can
plumber could
hurt
run
me.
me over and I'd get right up, and then like pick it up and snap it in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so I mean, before we go, I got two special questions for you guys. The first one being, what is your favorite cheat meal, like kind of meal, and like location? Like for me, it's McDonald's and like a Big Mac. That's like
What? That's
honestly,
your favorite spot?
McDonald's forever. It's my favorite.
No way. Okay, look, McDonald's. I love their fries though. Don't get me wrong. If I could have their fries all the time, oh, McDonald's fries, yeah, their fries are good. What's yours?
Shoot, I'm basic as hell, dude. I get two cheap meals a week, and it's a burger and fries, and that's it. Like that's my favorite place.
Bro, I seen you eating those like 8-patty burgers. Like, what the fuck,
dude?
Freddy's.
Freddy's. Yeah. Do you guys have Freddy's?
Is that like a diner?
I don't think I have a Freddy's out here in Texas.
It's a burger place, but it's like it's known for like smash burgers and like custard. Yeah. And so like the one
that's
is
like
in the town next.
Yeah, it's like we have a place down here. It's like Northern Florida. It's called Culver's. Oh my god, this shit's so good.
Culver's. Oh. Yeah, so like I like when what was that? We were I guess with Des. So like I started out with like a double and I was like, you know what? Like that was nothing. Like I was in a growth phase, like we were pushing a lot of food. I was like, yeah, that's nothing. Like, okay, so next week 3 patties. Damn, like that didn't even touch me. Next week 4 patties, next week 5 patties, next week 6 patties, then 6 patties, and then 8. And I got to 8 and I was like, dude, I'm tired. Let's go somewhere else.
Bro, 8 patties.
So we go to this place called Pop's Burgers, and we what?
I said 8 patties is like 3 burgers.
Well, they're also smashed.
They're smashed.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say they're smaller. They're just
flatter. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It would be like taking like the patties off of a Big Mac and smashing them.
I was like, bro,
so it would be like 8 of those.
Jesus Christ.
It was honestly, it was probably like they got to be like a 2-pound burger.
Those burgers look good though. The fries look legit.
Dude, so good.
That is good.
But we've been the town we live in, they have a place called Pops, and we've been going there for like the past 4 months. And the owner, he's super cool. Like they don't do doubles, but he's like, you can have whatever you want. You just tell them to get it for you, like whatever you want. We actually had before we got on here with you. It's perfect every time. I just love a burger and fries. It's just so like it's basic, but it kind of gives you everything that you want and need in a cheat meal.
Yeah.
I think
You're still checking off that bodybuilding.
Oh, you're right too. And I'm a hoe for snake I'm a hoe for snakes. What does that even mean? I'm a hoe for steaks. I love like ribeyes, like,
Oh yeah.
and I make them so good. I can't even lie to you. Like I'm so good at cooking steak. I if Danny would let me, I would probably have like a ribeye every single
he
day.
would. He would.
So good. I mean,
Any kind of steak, really, like any kind of steak. I love steak.
Are you a big sweets type of person or
Yo,
What do you say?
are you a sweet person?
I'm not a big sweet person. I love peanut butter, but that's about it. This one right here,
Chocolate.
yeah, she likes
I
chocolate.
love
Like I'll take a bite, but I'm like, eh.
But I also can eat anything in the world. Like he used to actually call me snacks because I used to always eat. I used to always eat all the time.
it's blueberry muffins for me, man. I could
Oh
fucking
my
dude.
That sounds so
blueberry
good.
muffins.
Are from anywhere specific or just like
Gas
any
stations?
kind of gas station
Nah,
blueberry
so
muffin?
we have this chain of grocery stores down in Florida called Publix. It makes the best.
Yeah, Publix.
that subs?
Dude.
That's so-
Oh my God.
Dude.
The blueberry muffins are like insane. And then also we have a Wawa down here.
I've heard of
Dude,
that, but what is
me
that?
and my brother, we used to, I grew up, I spent like my senior year and then like 18, 19 in Maryland, and they have Wawas, and I remember
Wawa's so
specific
fucking
the
legit. Like,
subs, the hoagies at the Wawa.
Oh, yes.
Those,
So
bro, they were
good, man.
always smacking.
so fucking good.
So bomb, yeah. I miss Wawas. I wish they would just push them all the way to the West Coast. Like,
Yeah, they should. They should. It's the fucking best gas station ever. Like
I
the
know
food.
this.
have you had Cutie?
Huh?
Quick Trip?
No.
Here,
In Texas, they got Cutie. And
Bucky's.
Bucky's, bro. We love Bucky's. Yeah, we love those.
One fuck.
Bro, Bucky's. Hey,
It's
Bucky's is
massive.
like
It's like a gas.
Bucky's like if you gave Wawa steroids for 10, that is what Bucky's is.
Literally.
Bro, it's a gas station. They have good food, they have clothes, furniture, like wall decor, candy, chips, soda, fishing stuff, like burgers.
Turkey.
Turkey. Yeah, jerky, and then they have like 100 gas pumps.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like Wawa and Serostem.
And then okay. So second question.
Yes.
What is your guys like favorite music? So like either like if you had to give like top 3 artists, what would they be? Would you be able to do that or
Chillers. Yeah. Tyler Chillers.
Oh, no way. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Bro.
Love them. Love him. Wait, I think that we should send you guys our playlist because we have an amazing. Yeah.
I've been okay. I'm gonna preface this. I've been trying to make Matthias listen to country music for 2 years. 2 years.
Please,
He moved to Texas.
Tyler Childers, Chris Stapleton, freaking.
Oh, no, you guys are talking to a wall because he moves to Texas, and in the first week he becomes Morgan Wallen's biggest fan, and I'm like, bro, you have to expand.
Oh,
dude, he's so
Morgan.
fucking
He's amazing.
I love him.
I'm like, and Ryan kept telling me the whole time, he's like, bro, country's so awesome because they're just like talking about like having a good time with your buddies. And like a special lady. I'm like, yeah, Ryan, whatever. And then I come here and I'm like, bro, these songs are so relatable.
Right. It's not like rap. Like rap, bitches, hoes, money, like but like we don't really none of us have that. Like I don't have bitches or hoes. I got a little bit of money, but not anything to brag about. Like country is like, bro, I'm this girl broke my heart, so I went and hung out with my buddies. We went fishing. We just had a great time, and now I'm not even thinking about her. Like, it's great. It's so relatable. Or like, I found this woman, like, she's everything I've ever wanted. Like, I love her. I want to do everything for her. Like,
Cody Johnson, I like
relatable.
Too, but...
Yeah, Kojo's sick. I like.
But
Kojo.
there's a lot of Western country and then artists too that. Yeah, we need to send you guys and
send me that country playlist
for sure.
Yeah,
so my top 3 I would say would probably be
The Red
Yeah.
Voice Changers is nice too. We just got under them.
Yeah, they are. Can you guys hear that?
Probably not. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
I would say Tyler Childers, Morgan Wallen. I call him Wallen. I don't know if it's Wallen or Wallen. I call him Wallen. And then probably Stapleton. And then I'd have like my rap.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I'm a big, funny you say Waylon, but like for real Waylon. I'm a huge Waylon Jennings fan.
Jennings, yeah.
Oh man, it's
Waylon Jennings?
timeless, bro. Yeah, it's
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
I like.
Do you like Whiskey Myers? You know who Whiskey Myers
oh
is?
man, dude. I literally, bro, I sent
So
He got
excited.
He was
So
like,
this
excited.
is my favorite part of the podcast right now.
dude.
No, I sent a man, what's that man, what's the name of that song? I'm like totally drawn up. Oh, Broken Window Serenade.
Yes.
Yeah.
I sent that song to Matthias. I was like, listen to this if you want to bawl your eyes out.
Hey, so my friend,
Dude, that song is hard.
So
I'm
my friend-
as a man, the only song I have ever cried listening to while I
That
wasn't
song?
sad was that
Was
song.
that song?
I just heard it and I started.
Dude, it hits
Might
hard.
be of, my friend. So my
That's
friend,
like the most unconditional love you could have
Oh,
for
yeah.
somebody who's just headed down the wrong path and you
Yeah.
can't help
Oh,
them, but
God,
you
it's
want to
such a
do
good
everything you can.
yeah, I'm like going down my stuff right now, and I'm like, oh, do you know who the Steel Drivers are?
Yeah, of
Steel
course.
Drop-
That's
Old
that was a band that Chris
Stapleton band.
Stapleton was in.
Yeah, dude.
Legit, bro.
What is it? What's that? Steel Drivers? The Sticks That Made Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Sticks That Made Thunder.
Six to
Have you ever
Make
heard that?
It's all good.
Dude, bangers.
Yeah, super good. Super good. But all right, guys. I kind of
Big
gotta
X the plug. Shout out Big X the plug. I
Yes.
love Big X the plug.
It was funny because I when I competed in Tampa, I hadn't heard of the guy yet, and one of the songs came up on my
Levels.
Spotify. Yeah, it was that song. That song came up on my Spotify like while I was like competing at Tampa. And then I was like, this kind of goes kind of hard. So like I literally that was like the only song I listened to like for the fucking entire weekend. I was about to go on stage and I was like, let me put this on real quick.
Bro, Hunter
That's
Labrada posted a video with it. Like him, I don't know where he was posing at. Maybe the Texas Pro last year. Did he do the Texas Pro last year?
Yeah, I think that's where he lost to Andrew, no?
Yeah.
I think so, but he did his Gilco production song and they threw levels on there. Bro, I saw that and I was like, this is the hardest thing I've ever watched. Like, what? This song with his posing? Bro, crazy.
Yeah, it's epic.
Big X is pretty good. I still love Texas. Like that song is like
Dude, that song will always
just because I moved here, I was like, oh yeah, I'm from Texas.
Hey, listen,
Oh,
listen,
yeah.
right? Listen to Big Stepper. Bro,
Oh,
hey,
God, that's
hey,
so funny.
honestly, I lived in Texas for 5 years, and the moment I like heard that song, I was like, "This is my anthem. This is my anthem. I am from Texas. Like this is for me."
Yeah.
That's it. You're a Texas native now, Matthias.
Yeah.
You gotta get a Lone Star
And I
tattoo.
listen to Big X. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes,
You gotta get a Lone Star tattoo on your forearm.
Oh,
dude.
do it.
See?
The can, just get the
Sure.
can, the Lone Star beer can.
But all right, guys. I gotta fucking train and all that. But I want to get you guys on again. So
Dude,
Aaron,
yes.
when are you competing again?
Nationals is like December. I think it's like the second. I think it's
December.
actually the day before my birthday. I think it's December 14th.
Oh,
I'd
sick.
have to look at it again.
Okay. So we definitely got to get you guys, or whenever because I know it's gonna be in Texas. So if I can go, I will 100% go and watch you. And then we'll hop on a podcast whenever you get back to Arkansas, so we can interview you guys again.
Hell yeah, dude.
You sick.
Yeah, I had a good time. I was super nervous, but I had a good
Yeah,
time.
me too, honestly. But you guys are really easy people to
It's
talk
funny
to.
because like I've never heard you guys speak, but it's like it went so like casual.
Yeah, dude, Aaron, I'm gonna be so completely honest. I don't know if this is the right word, but I may have profiled you. When he first talked, I was like, holy shit.
This guy's from California.
I was like, I heard that like a country accent. And I was like, wait a second, hold on.
Do I have a little bit of a country accent now?
I don't
Damn.
know, maybe.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Because I'm from Miami and everybody sounds like normal.
Dominican.
Play,
I'm
yeah.
from Miami,
Or
it's all-
Cuban. Yeah, Cuban.
Cuban. Yeah.
So many of them here. I'm saying there's so many of them here. I'm literally one of them.
Right.
Ryan forgets he's Hispanic.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
I forget Ryan's Hispanic.
Yeah,
Because no one
Ryan-
ever, I just like, I mean, I'm half Welsh, so everybody's like, oh yeah, you just look like half Welsh German, so everybody's like, oh yeah, you look German. You know, I don't ever
You
get
speak
like, nah, man, I gotta work on it. It's a problem. I'm so like responsible about it too because I know I live in Miami, and that half my family is Cuban. But like, what am I trying to learn on Duolingo right now? I'm trying to learn German. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. It just sounds
Not bad, though.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The German bodybuilders are epic. I think it's because I secretly want to be Dennis Wolf, but
Bro. Wesley.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're all so fucking awesome.
They're both like, yeah. Definitely.
Being European is so badass. Like I'm
Dude.
so serious.
To be honest though, since I got into bodybuilding, like I'm happy I'm like 5'7" on a good day.
Yeah, same.
Dude, I'm happy I'm 5'9" because being 5'10" and 5'11", like that class, those guys are fucking huge.
Yeah, well, I definitely think being tall.
5'9" is a really good height too. Like if you ever want to, go into like the
Bodybuilding.
bodybuilding class, like you'll like once you fill out that frame, you do dominate a 5'7" guy.
Dude, like I was so if and when I go pro, I get that 10 pounds. So I get to go 204. So that'll be fun. Like,
Yeah,
that'll be a lot of fun. 204. Me at 204 last year was like so sick looking. I had so much pop, like
we feel
so
like-
peeled.
I feel like that was your weight that you should have
Right, that
probably stuck to. on
right.
stage
Yeah,
and then-
204 was like so like good looking.
Yeah.
You ever think about getting on an inversion table, or you don't make the 5'10" cut out?
Bro, so I have like degenerative disc disease, so it ain't. I'm just gonna keep shrinking.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no stretching is gonna do nothing for that.
Yeah. No.
All right, guys. Well, nothing.
Right.
Definitely want to get you back on. It was really nice talking to you guys because
I'm so
I
glad
agree.
we did this, dude.
You're
Yeah,
fine.
so fun,
Nice.
so fun.
we're definitely loners.
If you want to do it again before nationals, you just let me know, dude. We're
Yeah, man,
usually
fucking
pretty
whatever. You guys can fucking I know we started that pod with Luke and Dez, but if ever there's like a like even this weekend there was a scheduling error. We were supposed to do one tomorrow, but Luke is at New York. So if there's ever like someone can't make it, man, I'll hit you guys up for sure if you guys are down for it.
we get on here BS and just talk about a bunch of bodybuilding stuff in life.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, man.
It's real.
Oh shit, what's up?
All right, it was good. Oh, and it was nice meeting you
Yes,
guys.
nice meeting you guys finally.
I think it's going breaking out now.
Ryan
Yeah.
stayed praying. Oh, there we go.
Y'all
Right?
Yeah, I know.
I'm
That's
stuck in praying hands. Hey,
I
y'all
was
keep it
I was saying thank you in my internet, like my bad. All right, y'all be good. Thank you guys so much.
All right,
real.
y'all
You
be
guys
good.
have to go and be safe.
That's it.